Everybody, this is Jim at sp500chart.com. It's a few minutes after 5 here on the East Coast on September 24th, 2014 here in Atlanta. It was a beautiful day. Temperatures in the 70s, crystal clear blue sky. Feels like fall. That's not going to last long. We'll probably get hot again, and sometimes September can be brutal here in the South. But enough about that. Let's take a look at the website. Let's take a look at the chart. After I remind you the website and this video are for educational purposes only, nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research. And please, make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. And here is what happened today. Well, after having sort of gotten something wrong earlier in the week when we got up to this neckline, I was hoping we would just go ahead and take that son of a gun out. But instead we backed up, and once we started to head backwards with the break of our little red channel here, it became obvious that we were going to come down and test some support somewhere. There were two likely places. The first was this neckline from our potential little head and shoulders top here. You see, actually three times we got under that neckline, and all three times so far, these three little bumps back here that looks like a head and shoulders, so far the market has just shrugged that off. It's like, even though that says we should get down to about 1970 and change, apparently the markets are saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're doing something else. And you'll remember about a week and a half ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, it's probably about a week and a half ago, I said this is one of two things. Either we have a little head and shoulders top, or we are just coming down in a bull flag. Okay, I just had my train of thought stopped. My phone rang, had to take the call. But anyway, I was talking about we had either this little head and shoulders top or the possibility of a bull flag descending between these two green lines. And we then broke up over that bull flag in a small channel that had about a 5-day life to it. Sadly, sometimes these little small channels live up until about 17 nanoseconds before you have enough data to say, oh, look, there's a channel. It's almost like something you see out of the corner of your eye, and then you turn around and it's not there anymore. But the good news here today is that having come down to test the support at this purple line on Monday, we survived that test. That broke yesterday, but we didn't come fully down far enough to say that we had really back tested this green broken resistance line in that green bull flag. Today we did that, and I promise you I did not move this line. I swear to you I did not, and I'll prove it because I'm gonna hover over this green line, and you'll see that it was updated yesterday. And I think the only reason I updated it was just to make sure it was right, but it was not updated today. And look, it absolutely hit on the nose, and then we reversed back up. Additionally, it looks like any trend line that we could maybe try to draw over the past 3 days, we are now over. So I still don't really have a good place to put such a line. It could be here, it could be here. But just to make a long story short, I believe today was a meaningful reversal. And at this point, I would be looking for a move to follow through and to come back and retest our neckline. And this time, maybe we get the break of this neckline. And if we do, and it's by a technically significant margin, then we've got some interesting things to consider. But I will tell you that we would be looking at a target of about 2110 based upon this inverted head and shoulders continuation pattern. Again, it is not confirmed until we get over this line in a convincing fashion. The final thing I just want to point out with you, and this is just sort of a tendency of charts, is we also, upon backtesting this line, we also almost exactly matched the low that was in place on our last touch of this bottom line. So there were a couple things that said we should bounce at this point. The most notable of which, however, was the back test of that broken what used to be resistance now turned into support. So let's see now if we power back on up over 2,000 up into the 2020s, and if we can get up to, let's say, well, I told somebody I thought 2025. Frankly, I think we need to be over 2030 for me to feel really good about it. Let's see if we can get up into the 2030s. Then I think we are very likely looking at setting up an interesting challenge of some existing resistance lines that stand between where we are now and this inverted head and shoulders pattern meeting its target. Well, thanks for watching. I had another phone call, but I believe I was actually at the end of the analysis of the chart. I hate it when that happens, because someone calls and I'll talk to him for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I come back to doing this and I'm like, oh gosh, what was the last thing I said? I just remember we had some closure, so we're a done deal for today. Let's see if we can get up over that neckline in the next day or so, and if so, then like I said, we've got some interesting things to consider as we approach some expected resistance levels that this inverted head and shoulders seems to be wanting to tell us. I want to try to make a run over those. That's going to be interesting, so stick around for it. Thanks again for watching. Take care.